What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec in this video, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the second day of November, and here we are sitting at about $0.0035 with 9 hours and 24 minutes left in the day. Still in this range that you've been consolidating in since really September 1st, right? We've been here for quite some time. We're at the base of this range. It is possible that we go a little bit lower, but I think that we're more at an area to find support than we are to go too much lower from here. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, zooming way the hell in now, looking at this on the 1 hour, the RSI is bearish. We have yet to really get a stab into the oversold zone since our last interaction with the overbought zone. Kind of here. Stochastics look like they want to come down. RSI looks like they want to come down. I have to admit, the MACD looks kind of nice with this divergence here. I don't know if this counts as bullish divergence because there's so many drives. I don't know. But it could be bullish divergence. I like the building up here. The decay of bearish momentum, at least, is something to be positive about, I suppose. But the RSI and the stochastics both, in my opinion, suggest that we could go lower, to be completely fair. So if we do go lower, where might we go? Looking at the 4 hour time frame here, we take this low from the 10th day of October. Should we take the 10th low? I don't know. Maybe not the 10th. Let's take this low. And hold on, guys. Let me talk to somebody real quick. Daughter's just playing with some toys. I'm asking her to try to keep it down. 0.00355. 1 hour, 23 minutes left in this 4 hour candle. We're right at the golden ratio zone, right? You've hit here once, found support. That was a nice run. You got above the 382 and everything. You should have gone higher. Why didn't you? You did it just to make a fool out of me. You're down here at the golden ratio again, finding support. If you don't find support here and move higher, you likely will find support at the 786 or 886 just based off the interaction you're having now. So I would think 00342 to 00333 is probably where you're going to go, somewhere in the 786, 886 area. That's what I'm expecting. That's really what I think is going to happen here in the near term. You'll probably find support down there. If not, if I'm wrong, then cool, just move higher. I mean, a 4 hour close above 00378 should be enough to validate whatever low you have. We thought it would be last time, but you showed a little bit of disrespect here. So hopefully you close above that level again. That validates that the low is in and we should be moving higher. But until then, I think 0034, 00333, that's something that we could intend. The RSI, the stochastic suggests that we go lower. The MACD looks fine, but it would be okay if you went lower too. You do have bullish divergence technically with the MACD, but overall, momentarily bearish. In the midterm, in the short term, very near term, we are bullish. The RSI is at areas that we typically bounce from. The stochastics could come down a little bit, right? We've been skeptical of this zone holding as support, so it might make sense that over the coming days we drop just a little bit down to those areas, get the stochastics, allow the stochastics to cool off a little bit more, maybe bounce from an area that makes more sense, and then we can move up higher, something like that. The stochastics, to be fair, on the daily have been very weird, but we're moving sideways, so that weird stuff kind of happens. You don't have bullish divergence on the MACD, but you do have a decay of bearish momentum, which is nice to see at the very least. The RSI, again, being at an area to bounce. I would assume that we go down just a little bit more, just a little bit, and then we should be fine. Let's see, low here to a high here. Yeah, we took a stab at that golden ratio zone. I mean, we could do it again. We could do it again, but I don't know if we'll go down that low. With that kind of reaction that we had, let's just see, from the low price to where we are now, I'm surprised that we're even this close, to be completely fair, but a little bit lower, and then higher. We're really just back where we are, back where we were at the end of last video, where I was saying we're just waiting. We're waiting, right? This short-term 5%, 4% move, whatever that we're expecting, up, down, whatever, it's insignificant compared to what is coming, right? The big move's coming, guys. And what do I mean by the big move, right? We're expecting a move that is similar to this, yet larger, right? Larger. So something that will likely take us above 3.5 cents. Okay. Here we are at about a tenth of that right now. So something that will take us above 3.5 cents. We take a high to a low. I mean, from there, the only fib that makes sense to me would be about 4.5 cents to 8 cents, somewhere in that kind of level there. And I would expect that this next move is going to be bigger than our last move was there. Hold on. Just being loud with the toys there. 8 cents, 7.96 cents, 4.5 cents there. That'd be the target zone that I would expect because, again, I am expecting this next move to be bigger than the last move. Why do we think that next move is going to be bigger? Because I want it to be. Because I just want to be a moon boy without any logic. No, that's not why. It's because we have the second lowest levels in the fear and greed index, or in other words, the highest levels of fear that we've seen this whole cycle. The second highest levels of fear we've seen this whole cycle. And we have the, what is not debatable, objectively, what is the weakest pullback of this whole cycle, right? That 18% drop, every other drop we've had has been 20% or more. Every single drop that we've had. 18%, and we have some of the most fear we've seen this whole cycle. We're geared up, we're primed and ready for alt season to come in full force. We're primed and ready for it. Why do I think Zebec is going to see a bigger move than it did last time? Because the rest of the market's going to be moving as well. Here it moved up kind of standalone. There wasn't many coins doing this. You were doing it all on your own. Here, there's going to be momentum with you, flow. There's going to be an overall euphoric feeling in the markets. And I really do think that by the end of this year, if not even by the end of December, or November, I'm sorry, by the end of December, yeah. By the end of the year, by the end of November, 4.5 cents, 8 cents, these higher targets are probably reserved for the end of the year, if not end of January, and we should push higher going into 2026 as well. That's my thoughts. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.